Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Today I feel...
like I want to tell you about the World Cup. But before we begin, I may be the hologram of a regular guy stuck on an AI-powered ship, coursing through cyberspace trying to put it all out there on Twitch and other various social medias, but if you can drop a like or comment on this video, that would be a huge help. So, without any further ado, back to the video. What is the World Cup? Well, it's an international soccer tournament where countries from all over the world compete to see who's the best and who has, apparently, the most charming fans.
So excited, right? Japan, right?
Excuse me.
Okay.
I cannot speak English, but I'm excited!
I love it! Yeah, baby!
And in 1930, the first World Cup was held in Uruguay. It was attended by 590,000 people and 13 teams from across the world. And they probably all arrived vis-a-vis those little fancy bicycles with the big wheels and the one small one. In 2026, the World Cup ballooned into a 48-team, 104-match-having, 3 countries spread across the continent-wide attention-smashing machine expected to reach over 6 billion people and bring in $9 billion in revenue. And also, just ignore that last part. The 48 countries began in 12 groups of 4. The top 2 teams from each group advanced along with the 8 best third-place teams, because apparently third place is sometimes also first place. Well, go figure. 32 becomes 16, 16 becomes 8, and the 8 is down to the final 4 to decide who becomes the FIFA World Cup champion. And that really is just the bare-bone explanations of what the World Cup is and how it functions. Because you can talk about this thing in the broadest possible terms or spend 40 minutes explaining why Germany beating Brazil 7-1 in their own country back in 2014 still haunts an entire nation. Don't believe me? Take a look at this crying child.
This is quite astonishing. It's all over now. It really is all over for Brazil.
There are players, managers, rivalries, stadiums, qualifying campaigns, and all of the stories that brought each country here in the United States, in North America. Players from Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, North and Central America, and Oceania, all confederations that have their own paths, histories, and reasons for caring. And every team brings the past with them. Old victories, painful losses, legendary players, and matches people are still arguing about decades later. You can make an entire video about one team, one match, or even one referee decision. Something that happened 10 World Cups ago can still shape how a game feels today. That's what I didn't fully understand before watching this tournament. The World Cup affects everyday people. It changes schedules, fills streets, brings families together, and makes strangers cry over people they've never even met kicking a ball on television. And somehow, it's affected me too. So I'm gonna cover as much as I can without accidentally becoming a full-time soccer historian. And if there are players, countries, or stories you want me to explore, leave them down below in the comments. Because now that we know what the World Cup technically is, it's time to explain what it looked like through the least internationally qualified perspective available. My American ass.
We support the U.S., the U.S., the U.S. That's the way we like it. We like it. We love it.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I probably have seen a handful of World Cups in my time, and every time I do see one, I usually go, huh, Oh, it's on. Oh, I should watch this. I think I'll catch the next one. And then I don't. And I don't mean to speak for America, but I will. After our country was looking forward to and now coming past our 250th celebration, which was amazing. And I'll admit, it's been a little hard getting back into the American spirit of things, for no reason in particular.
I told the story yesterday. We had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan.
And my dopamine-drained mind was looking for anything, for a distraction from most of the things I want to talk about, but will probably get demonetized for.
Islamic Republic of Japan.
And then comes along the World Cup. And one of the first things I notice are the fans. First, it was the Scots.
Over in Boston, a Scottish invasion made their own kind of news.
Boston's bars have been running low on beer.
Scottish fans have been adorning locals with bagpipes and Tartan Army chants.
Boston has been fabulous, absolutely brilliant. A beautiful city, beautiful people, so friendly and welcoming.
The Scots showing their appreciation by sharing a Glasgow tradition. Yeah! Cones on statues.
The Tartan Army not only invaded my newsfeed, they also invaded my heart. Look at them playing with traffic cones.
They're obviously not Boston.
And then came the Viking invasion from Norway. And then the Socceroos in our very Walmarts. With all this international goodwill pouring into our country, and America's global reputation taking a bit of a beating the last couple of years.
What happens?
The United States!
That's right.
Became 250 years old!
This World Cup got me and a lot of Americans to do something almost unheard of. Watching soccer. All this talk, and I haven't even mentioned a single game yet. And there has been a lot of them. 103 as of recording of this video. And from what I've heard from other people who've watched way more World Cups, this one has been especially wild. And I'm coming into it, most of it, with pretty fresh eyes. I'm not going to pretend I can cover every match, every player, or every moment that mattered. Unless you or the algorithm want me to. So instead, I'm going to focus on the 3 games that stuck with me the most and that I think shows 3 very different sides to the World Cup. And the first one absolutely has to be one of the craziest things about this particular match was everything leading up to it. Just like any tournament, nobody really knows who's going to face who, especially once you get closer to the final. Enough games have to fall in just the right place before a matchup like Mexico versus England can even happen. And once it did, it felt enormous. Mexico had gone through the entire World Cup without losing, and now they were facing England in Mexico City, inside the Azteca, one of the most iconic stadiums in the history of football. See, I said football instead of soccer. This iconic stadium sits more than 7,000 feet above sea level, holds over 85,000 people, and has air so thin that it can leave visiting players tired and out of breath much faster than they're used to. I mean, listen to this crowd when Canona scores in the Azteca, scoring the very first goal in the World Cup.
A chance for Mexico! Winchie rockets home!
But the home field advantage did not stop at the stadium. Earlier in the tournament, before Mexico faced Ecuador at the Azteca, Mexican fans found the Ecuadorian team's hotel and gave what I would call a Mexican ASMR session, World Cup style. England heard about this, so when they found out that they were heading to Mexico City, they reportedly reserved around 15 different hotels to hide where the team was actually staying. And the Mexican fans still found them. And they did it again. So England wasn't just facing Mexico. They were facing Mexico at home, inside the Azteca, at altitude, in front of more than 85,000 people after being hunted through Mexico City by fans who apparently considered sleep deprivation part of the national game plan. And somehow, the actual match lived up to everything surrounding it. After a thunderstorm pushed kickoff back an hour, the game finally started around 2 in the morning for everyone watching back in England. And apparently, an entire country decided sleep was no longer important. England came out locked in. Jude Bellingham scored twice within minutes. Harry Kane added another from the penalty spot. And suddenly, the unbeaten host nation was fighting to stay alive inside its own stadium. But Mexico did not go quietly. They pulled one back. England went down to 10 men after a red card, and Mexico spent most of the remaining match throwing everything they had at them. 20 shots, more than 40 minutes with an extra player, and an Azteca crowd trying to force the ball into the net through sheer volume. England held on 3-2. And when it was over, England had handed Mexico its first World Cup loss at the Azteca. And I just sat there in my weird little home with my weird little hologram body and kind of cried and said, damn. Both teams had given everything they had, and somehow all that noise, pressure, skill, and desperation had turned into something that genuinely got to me. That match showed me what a spectacle of the World Cup could do. It could pull me in, make me care, and leave me sitting alone in front of a screen feeling like I had been part of something enormous. After witnessing the spectacle at the Azteca, I thought I left my heart in Mexico. And then came Cabo Verde. Also, Harry Kane lost his voice.
Happened over there by the England goal, because there looks to be some concern.
Yeah, Jordan, my voice is gone.
If Mexico and England showed me the spectacle of the World Cup, then Cabo Verde showed me the heart of it. Cabo Verde is this small island country off the western coast of Africa with a population of a little over 500,000 people. And I'm going to be honest with you. Before the World Cup, I didn't know there was a Cabo Verde. And even during the World Cup, I thought Cabo Verde was somewhere in the Caribbean. My bad. But now I know. And in 2026, they made it to their first World Cup and almost immediately became one of the biggest stories of the entire tournament. Their first match was against Spain, the country that beat France, also known as Mbappe. Also known as France. And they're still in the tournament as we speak. And they're going to the finals. And they could not score on Cabo Verde. A huge reason for that was Cabo Verde's 40-year-old goalkeeper, Vozinha, who spent the entire match stopping almost everything Spain threw at him. Before the tournament, he had around 50,000 followers on Instagram. After that game, he had millions. That's how quickly things can happen when you're in the World Cup. One day, most of the world has never heard your name. The next, you're standing in front of Spain, refusing to let them score, and suddenly everybody wants to know who you are. And Cabo Verde kept going. They drew against Uruguay. They held Saudi Arabia scoreless, and even without winning a single match in the group stage, they found a way to survive and make it into the knockout round. Then came Argentina. And I don't mean any offense by that, because this is the most difficult situation that Cabo Verde could find themselves in. Argentina entered this World Cup as the defending champions, led by Lionel Messi, who holds the record for most World Cup appearances, most World Cup goals, and just Google him. He has a gold medal in every... He's Messi. Even Spider-Man likes him. So Cabo Verde wasn't just playing another country. They were playing one of the best teams in the world, led by arguably the greatest player to ever touch a football. See, I did that again. Messi gave Argentina the lead, but Cabo Verde found an answer. The match stayed tied through the rest of regulation, forcing the defending champions into extra time. Argentina pulled ahead again, and Cabo Verde answered again. For most of this match, the reigning world champions could not put away a country playing its first ever World Cup. Argentina finally won 3-2 after Messi sent a corner into the box that bounced off a Cabo Verde defender and became an own goal. And with that, Cabo Verde's first ever World Cup run was over. They had arrived as one of the smallest countries in the tournament and somehow made it all the way to the defending champions. For weeks, they had been the team that kept surviving, kept surprising people, and kept finding one more reason to believe the run wasn't over yet. But eventually, it was. And for a moment, that was it. Cabo Verde was out, and it looked like the sun had finally set on their amazing David and Goliath story. And then they came home. They returned on Cabo Verde's Independence Day to thousands of people waiting for them. Airport workers dropped to their knees in celebration as the team stepped off the plane. Flags filled the streets. Drummers, dancers, and supporters followed them through Praia. They did not come home looking like a team that had failed. They came home as heroes. They had gone to their first World Cup and stood across from world champions and some of the biggest players in the sport and proved that they belong there. That is the heart of the World Cup. A country gets behind its team. The team carries that country onto the world stage. And even when the run ends, everybody comes home with something larger than where they started. So far, we had seen the spectacle of the World Cup, and now we had seen its heart. And then came the United States versus Belgium game.
You thought Belgium was confusing? Brother, please, if you want complication fanatics, come to Bosnia and Herzegovina.
This one's going to be a doozy. I don't know how else to explain it. There's so much to explain before we even get to the game, and I swear I'll do it. I swear I'll tell you all about it. I just think we have to go through all of these points so we can see the bigger impact of this show we call the USA-Belgium game. So, let's take it back. By this point in the tournament, I had watched every United States game, along with as many of the others as I could realistically catch. And we were coming out of it with 2 wins, and sure, 1 loss to Turkey. Turkiya, see? Learning. Football. But take a listen to this crowd from the Australia game. And somewhere along the way, I had started developing cautious optimism about the United States men's national team. Not, we're definitely winning the World Cup optimism, but like enough optimism to bring it up to people at the grocery store, only to then have them go, "Huh? What are you talking about? World Cup?" And I would quickly say, "Never mind," and go back to my home and keep watching the World Cup. The country was starting to watch. Or at least I was. And the United States was starting to look like a scrappy team with something to prove and enough momentum to make you wonder just how far they could take this. And so we met
Bosnia and Herzegovina
on the pitch. Balogun took us to the lead, but then received a red card thanks to VAR. And yes, I know I'm going to call it VAR. I probably have been calling it VAR in this video, and I'm going to keep on calling it VAR. Anyway, the US had to finish the match with 10 men, but instead of falling apart, they scored again, won 2-0, and advanced to the round of 16. The red card also meant Balogun was expected to miss the next match, and the next match was Belgium. So naturally, we accepted the consequences, moved forward as a country, and nothing controversial happened afterwards whatsoever. FIFA did not erase Balogun's red card. Instead, it used Article 27 of its disciplinary code to postpone the automatic one-match suspension, place him on probation for a year, and clear him to play against Belgium. Article 27 had previously been used to suspend parts of fines and stadium punishments, but there was no documented example of FIFA ever using it to postpone the immediate one-match suspension attached to a World Cup red card. But what the f*** do I know? I'm just a hologram of a regular guy stuck on an AI-powered ship, but I think I have enough resources to Google all of this information and tell you things start to get a little complicated. I still believe the original tackle deserved a yellow card instead of a straight red. But what I wanted was a fair call and a good game. What I got next was a bad call and a bad game.
Yes, I asked for a review by FIFA. That wasn't a foul. But how do you penalize them for a game that hasn't been played yet? It's very unfair. You can't do that. So I think the referee's call was horrible. And nobody talks about that. They talk about the red card like it's fine. Nobody talks. The referee's decision to red card. I didn't know what the hell a red card was. When I found out, I said, "You got to be kidding."
Once Balogun received the red card, I think the United States should have accepted the consequences and prepared for Belgium without him. Balogun could not formally reactivate his own suspension after FIFA declared him eligible, but I do think he could have explored other options rather than playing, including asking not to be selected. But to be fair, none of this was his fault. He didn't call Infantino, choose Article 27, or ask to become the center of an international controversy, but sitting out might have been the clearest way to separate himself and the team from everything surrounding the decision and everything coming their way. See, I told you we'd get to the game eventually. But before we get to the game, I have to tell you about Belgium. Belgium asked FIFA to explain the ruling and challenge Balogun's eligibility. FIFA rejected the challenge, saying Belgium had not been part of the original disciplinary case, even though Belgium was the team that now had to face him. So, Belgium was directly affected by the decision, but apparently not involved enough to question how that decision had been made. Very straightforward. Nothing confusing about that whatsoever. But by the time the team stepped onto the field, this was no longer just a soccer match. The United States entered with Balogun restored, Belgium furious, FIFA defending its independence, in an unprecedented disciplinary decision hanging over the entire thing. The Seattle Stadium was roaring, and the United States was still trying to settle into the moment, shake off the noise surrounding the match, and find its foot. Then Belgium scored almost immediately. The United States eventually answered through a Malik Tillman free kick, and for a moment, the stadium came back to life. Then Belgium went straight back down the field and scored again almost immediately, shutting everybody up before the celebration had even been settled. And then came the third goal. Matt Fries lost control of the ball directly in front of his own net, and Hans Vanaken took advantage. I remember watching the television, and the moment that happened, I just went, "Ooh." Fries seemed to freeze. The ball sat there. Belgium took it, and suddenly the United States was down 3-1 in the biggest match of its tournament. Then Belgium scored a fourth in stoppage time, and the humiliation didn't end there, because immediately after scoring, the Belgian players performed the dance most closely associated with Donald Trump. And right after the goal celebration, the Belgian Red Devils Instagram account added 2 simple words to their Instagram post: "Overturn this." After everything, the call, the ruling, the challenge, the outrage, and the unprecedented exception, it did not help. Belgium beat us 4-1 in what should have been the biggest football match on the American run became a story about everything surrounding the soccer football. I would rather watch the United States play Belgium without Balogun and accept the same consequence every other country would have been expected to accept. Because a good game does not require every call to go your way. It requires everybody to live under the same rules. The other matches I had watched were allowed to be games. There were difficult calls, huge moments, incredible goals, and all the usual pressure of a World Cup, but the drama still belonged to the soccer, the football. This one arrived carrying politics, accusations of special treatment, and an argument over whether the rules had been bent before the opening whistle. And that was the shame of it. I had watched Mexico and England rise to the occasion. I had watched Cabo Verde answer the moment. I got to see countries and teams rise to the occasion. The United States-Belgium match showed me the other side of it, because the American story never really got to feel clean. It felt muted, sad, and obscured by larger, darker forces hanging over the game before it even began. And underneath all of that, it was also just a really shitty game. So where are we now? The United States is out. The semifinals are over, and Argentina and Spain will play for the World Cup. And there's still so much more I didn't get to. I spent the last 2 weeks researching, writing, recording, and editing this thing, so if you enjoyed any part of it, liking, commenting, subscribing, or checking out the rest of the channel would genuinely help. And before I conclude this video, I'm just gonna do my quick hot takes on these topics that I couldn't get to. I'm at the very end of my rope. We have to get this video out, and it's just about it's like less than 12 hours until the final happens. So I'm just gonna go through it with just as much info as I got, and I just want to thank all of you again for, if you got this far into the video. There's gonna be a great conclusion. It's gonna really wrap up everything. But until then, enjoy this part, enjoy this last minute energy, and happy World Cup, everybody. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna chill next to my body that's getting experimented on. All right, first off is Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal. I got it. The fact alone is that there is a photo circulating right now from like 2007 where it's a 20-year-old Messi taking a photograph where he bathes a 6-month-old Lamine for a charity thing from UNICEF. It's crazy. The parents won a raffle Lamine even went to Barcelona. It's just coincidence on coincidence on coincidence. It's pretty cool, and they're gonna meet for the final. So it's destiny. Messi is soccer Jesus. Bathe me. Up next, came out from during the group brackets was South Korea, and I'm gonna say it correctly as best as I can. Hong Myung-bo. And long story short is basically South Korea did not really make it. They just basically got as far into the group stage, and they did so bad, or they did so poorly, that South Korea's president publicly criticized the campaign and ordered an investigation into the South Korean Football Association. He literally returned to booze. I have that footage. And now he's in the United States, and as per this video, nobody knows where he's at. So there's that. And after that, I just have to say about VAR. VAR did so much and so little in this entire World Cup. I mean, just Google it, look at it, YouTube it, all the way from like Croatia and Iran, Egypt, all these offside calls, and it all resulted into Cablegate. So check that out. That was crazy. Tell me in the comments whether you think it hit the cable, if the ball hit the cable, or if it didn't. The rest is up to you. And just the last thing I want to say is Erling Haaland, and the fact that he charmed all of America. He charmed me. He's just everything. He's amazing. He's cool. His social media is amazing, and at the end of it, even though he didn't win the World Cup, I think he won our hearts, at least mine. And he got a raccoon. Not that raccoon. This raccoon. All right. Those are my hot takes. And now for the conclusion. I'm the hologram of a regular guy stuck in cyberspace. You could almost call that a metaphor for how isolating the world is increasingly becoming. And it's moments like the World Cup that show hologram metaphors like me that the world isn't that scary, that there's genuinely good people making good moments. And the irony doesn't escape me that the platforms that you're listening to this on and everything that you're interacting with, that we're interacting with, is isolating us. And we need moments like this to kind of bring us together. And it's a shame that those moments feel further and fewer apart. So I'm going to go out and check out a local football game. How about that? And I hope the World Cup did something good for you too. I hope it at least entertained you. I hope this video entertained you. And again, I may be a hologram of a regular guy stuck on an AI-powered ship, but this was real. See you in the next video.